Hi everyone. I haven't uploaded a video in a while and this is my attempt to try and change that. To be honest, life has been a bit crazy. I just finished my finals and I told myself it's now or never. So I thought that for today's video I would show you the notebooks and planners that I plan to use in 2025. Some of these I have already been using this year, so I just plan to, carry them to 2025 as well because I never got to finish them. And this is exhibit A of that. So this is the book of 100 joys. I don't think you can really like see the I can even see it myself, the letters here, but this is a book that I got at a local library and I really liked it. I like how compact it is, and I've been writing in it quite a bit, but sometimes I just forget that I have it. And yeah, so I started it, let me see, um I started it in May, and yeah, I had I did write something in December. I don't feel that bad. But anyway, I still have a lot to go through. But it's a really fun book to, I think it's gonna be a really fun book to flip through once I finish it. So yeah, I'm keeping this one for next year. I'm gonna try to go fast because my videos always, end up being super long. This is a little notebook that I'm using as a sketchbook. And what I like about this one is that I've tried to have sketchbooks in the past, but I don't know, for some reason they feel very intimidating. I don't know if it's because like most of them are larger, and not only that, I don't know, there's something about the pages. Like, I'm not a professional artist or anything, so every time I use like pencil or something, usually it smudges a bit. And I'm guessing that's because, sketchbook paper kind of makes it so that certain types of pencil smudge a bit, like if you want to like shadow and everything. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. But this is just a regular notebook, like plain notebook. And honestly, I don't draw a lot. The only thing that I use this for is to plan the clay things that I am gonna make. I have this side project. It's called the Happy Cat Project. So basically, I just make little clay kittens and I take them with me to bookstores and I leave them there hiding for people to find. So these are the ones that I created for October. They were just like little cats hiding inside pumpkins. So this is just like all the notes that I took as to how to make them, what I was gonna do first, how I was gonna make the eyes, then I changed the eyes. Then this is one that I made for somebody on TikTok that, I just wanted to send her one because she was so nice. So I made one of her little cat. And this is one that I made trying to make like a Katrina style kitten. So this is how it came out. Actually, let me show you because I have the finished one close to me. So this is how they actually turned out. I hope you can really see them there. So they're like looking up and they're like little loaves of bread. This is the other one. I made a small one and a big one. I think this is the shape that I've made that I like the most, and I'm going to continue to do that. And so, as you can see, I only use like 4 pages out of this notebook, so I still have a long way to go, and I kind of like that, honestly. And I thought it was perfect for the types of sketches and drawings that I make because they has like little cats on the cover. And now we get to the planner area. So let me give you a little context so that you understand my system a little bit better. And maybe understand is not the right word because I'm not sure I even understand it myself. But yeah. So last year I used two books. I had the Hobonichi Cousin, which as you can see became kind of a monster in itself because of how chunky it is, which honestly I'm not even mad about. I like a chunky book. But the way I was using this was basically just as memory keeping. And because I was using it as memory keeping, sometimes I felt odd writing about my thoughts and things like that. So it became just like a journal type of writing. So it became a memory keeping log. So I would write about what happened that day, etc., but not in detail on how I felt and things like that. So let me just give you more examples. So yeah, it was just scrapbooky with a lot of pictures, and let me see, I'm gonna try to find. Okay, so for example, this is more recent. So I would just put a picture of that day and just write about what happened and sometimes how I felt, but I don't know, like I guess with all this rambling, what I'm trying to say is that I noticed that I kind of like to have a space to put my pictures and just write about what happened that is not mixed with feelings, emotions, thoughts, etc. Why? Because sometimes my feelings and thoughts are a little bit like darker and I don't want to mix it with like the happy pictures and memories of what happened that day, but I think both things deserve a space. So because of that, I decided to, and I'll talk about this one a little bit later, I decided to split into two journals. One of them is gonna be the Hobonichi, but the A6 size, so that I can continue to do the memory keeping aspects and just continue to put my pictures on it and everything, but without going into detail as to, what I was feeling that day, etc. So that being said, I'll have a different notebook for that, for the feelings, thoughts, stream of consciousness, that type of thing. So yeah, this is I'm doing this wrong. So this is the Gingham series. I think that's how it's called. I was trying to look for a more for a book that had a little bit more personality, but I also wanted to keep things neutral because then I get bored or I get anxious if I don't know, if I have something that's too colorful for the whole year. So I figured this was a safe choice. um so yeah, this is the one that I'll be using. I used the Midori cover. It was kind of hard to insert it here, but it worked. So, it is what it is. I'm kind of worried about how chunky it's going to get and whether or not the Midori cover is gonna be able to hold all of that, because as you can see, I paste a lot of things, so I don't know if that's gonna work out or not, but we'll figure it out along the way. So I'm not too concerned about that. So when you open it up, I have a picture of my cat, one of my 4 cats. So something that I do when I memory keep is I'll print, pictures of the places I go, especially if I've never been to those places before. So that's why I thought it would be good to have some stickers at hand that had to do with like places and traveling and all that jazz. Then this is not, of course, this is 100% not done by me. I got this from a bundle of, art pictures from Etsy. I don't know who made it because it was just a package with a bunch of like scraps, but I thought it was really cute. And I don't know, I feel like the hand is like reaching towards something, and I think that's a really good like feeling to have for 2025. Reaching for something that you don't quite know what it is, but yeah, that makes sense in my mind. I'm not gonna pretend I'm making sense of it with you guys. And so for this pages, of course, I haven't done anything, but I have some ideas as to how I want to use them. For example, this part is, I usually leave this blank. I have no idea what to do with this, but this year I thought that maybe I could write about the highlights of the month and just kind of put something there, or a summary of the entry for, the dailies, so that I can find them, because sometimes I just know something happened but I completely forget what day it happened on. So I was thinking I could put like just a little, like 2 or 3 words that kind of evoke what happened on that specific day. So just some ideas as to how to use it. And then for the monthlies, these are my ideas. Maybe I could do I could just write down days where I had any important dream for easy find on my journal. So kind of reminiscent to what I'm going to do on the other page, but for dreams. And then maybe I could do little pictures that I didn't have space for on the daily pages. And then I could also signal the days where I dropped clay kittens for the Happy Cat project, and maybe do like a sticker of the clay kitten that I left. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, that's how I plan to use that. And then for the turning the page to a new year part, I was thinking I could do some sort of like vision board, and maybe a letter to myself, or some sort of combination of the two. Like maybe just put the pictures like as you would for a vision board, but maybe write something about what that picture means to me and what I want to accomplish. Yeah, something like that. And then I was thinking that maybe something that I could continue to do, because I did it on this big boy right here, was to put a picture that evokes like the feelings or my mood for the month. Let me show you the one that I had for November. For example, this is like the worst print quality ever, but yeah, something like that, like just putting a picture of what November feels like to me. I don't know. I think that doesn't make any sense at all, but yeah, that's my plan for this little guy right here. And like I said, just keep it very memory keeping, just what happened that day, blah blah blah. Not like an in-depth exploration of my feelings or anything like that. So I hope that made sense. And then, oh my god, I'm very excited about this one. This is a big commitment, but I think I can do it. I'm like hyping myself up, because yes, this is a 5-year journal, and this is by Sterling Ink. And my thoughts for this journal are kind of ambitious. I want to use this journal for journaling prompts, and kind of answer the same journaling prompt every year for 5 years. Is that ambitious? Yes. Am I gonna be able to do this every day of my life for 5 years? I don't know, but I will try. So I did the same thing as with the Hobonichi A6. I put like just some ideas of how I plan to use some of these pages, because the thing with Sterling Ink is that it comes with a lot of free pages. And sorry for the squeaky for the squeaky sound, by the way. It's my chair, it's old, so sorry. So for this, like I think it's like let me see, it's like a good 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 6 pages worth of blank pages, and I want to leave these pages blank and fill them at the end of the 5 years as a reflection of what I wrote and the changes I can, you know, observe based on my responses to the prompts. So I'm not even going to worry about those pages for the time being. And then for the journaling prompts, I was thinking that the only way to make this work for me is to have the prompts in advance. So maybe when I have a few days left in the month, I'll prep for the next month. So I already have January all good to go. So let's say by January 25th or so, I'll start looking for the prompts for February, and so on and so on and so on. And I'll put them on the blank page that comes before the beginning of the month. Now, something that I didn't notice is that for January, it doesn't, so there's always a page before the beginning of the month. So this is January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, blah, blah. And this is like a free page. I think I have a post-it note for, where did I put that? I put a post-it note here. Basically, I could write like quotes that meant something to me here, at the beginning of the month. But also by the end of January, I'll have an idea of how I felt answering those prompts, and maybe I'll want to change something or tweak a thing or two. So I could write about this here before I commit to doing it for the next month. It's just so that if any changes need to be made, I'll be able to do that. And I'll also put the quotes that I'm planning to use for February, I guess. And then I also didn't notice when I first got the, when I was first planning for the notebook, that it also comes with the same page that it comes like at the beginning of the month, but at the end. So I was thinking that I'll come back to this page and I can just go through all of the quotes for the 5 years and just write about that, like some sort of like reflection. And I know that this is kind of similar to what I'm planning to do with the first pages here, but this would be very specific to January, so kind of like a pre-step before I complete the whole 6 pages on the front. And of course, like, I'll try to make this creative. Like, it doesn't have to be like a bunch like of like words. Like, I can include pictures, and I can just make it a little bit more dynamic. This is not like a thesis for school, so it's fine. But I don't know, these are just some ideas that I have, and I'll just check with myself along the way. Because I think I'm making it so complicated. And then this book comes with like a million pages at the end, like note pages, like all of this, right? Because yeah, that's what I'm telling you, like Sterling Ink doesn't play games. So for that, I was thinking I could do yearly recaps, trends or patterns that I noticed along the way. And I'm very excited about this part. I could do letters to other people or to myself, but those kind of letters that you're not planning to actually read or send to people, but you just there's something that you want to say. I think this is going to be the perfect space for that. So that's my plan for this book. I anticipate that this is going to be super chunky, but also, like, if I am able to do this, if I'm able to commit to this, this is going to be amazing. I'm just a little bit concerned about my ability to keep up with it, because I know that, in reality, like, I don't know, like, life gets crazy, and sometimes I don't have time to, write or just sit down. So I don't know, keeping my fingers crossed for this one. And this is gonna be my planner. I'm also using Sterling Ink for my planner. This is a Moterm cover. Not a lot to say about that. Let me take this away. Moterm cover, Sterling Ink. This is A6 size as well. Very similar to the Hobonichi. Oh, and honestly, this is, did I say this was the Han? I don't know. Maybe I did. Well, you can see it, so maybe you know. And then I used what came with the Han for this because I think I actually use it more here. This is my first time using the Sterling ink planners, so I'm very happy with the design. I feel like I really like it, and I'm actually thinking that if this goes well, I'll completely switch to Sterling ink next year. Don't quote me on that. But I love the fact that the pages are completely neutral, and it's not like the Hobonichi where like it just has so many colors here. So I don't know, just some thoughts that I have now. Just an overview of what I have going on here. And okay, so I have a sticker that I love too much to put anywhere, so it gives me a lot of satisfaction to be able to put it here and know that I'll never waste it. I have some Coffee Monsters Go stickers with like credit cards and payday and emotions and things like that, because this is just gonna be my planner. And I have like a little, I print like my expenses and everything so that I have them handy, and I put that at the beginning. This is like my little key. I'm using those like dot markers just to signal different things. So bills, birthdays, appointments, other then tasks with a dot, canceled and moved. Nothing out of the ordinary for me. I've noticed that if my system is too complicated for planning, I won't plan anything, and that's just it. I'll get bored very easily. And then again, same like type of format as the 5-year journal. It comes with some pages at the beginning that I'm not going to use until the end of the year to reflect on my goals. And that's something that I really liked about the Sterling ink planner, that it comes with a space for you to plan what you want to accomplish within the year and kind of do it in a way that it gives you an overview of what you want to accomplish at some point in your life in 1 year, half a year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. So that's what I did here. After you put your goals and you have quarterly checks, I guess. So for example, for Q1 from January to March, you have to write what your priorities are. And then it has like a section for January, February, and March where you have to write something. And then I was thinking that for the priority part, I'm gonna put just knowing the goals that I have in place. What is it that I need to do to make it happen in Q1? So that's what I'm gonna focus on for that section. And then for the month, I'm gonna do like some sort of analysis of how everything went. Do I need to change anything? Was there something that helped me accomplish some goals? Things like that. So just some sort of like retrospective with myself of how the months went. And then I'm gonna use this after I finish the weekly sections, which I'll show you in a moment. So this is the same thing for Q2, Q3, and Q4. And then monthly section start. I did a test for December because I wanted to see if my key system worked, and I love it. So this is how it would look for me. I love those dot markers because I feel like they're better to save money than buying the actual dot stickers, because you have to keep buying them and the marker will last you a long time. And you can have as many as you want. And then you jump to the weekly section, where the only thing that I have so far is like my tracker, and the tracker aligns with the goals that I set up for myself at the beginning. And once I fill this out, I'll transfer that information to this side. Why? Because I think it's, even though I'll have it here, it'll give me such like a better overview to see it like all together for the quarter. So after the week's over, I'll transfer that to here. So I'll do, there's 6 squares. So same thing here, 6 things to track that I'll put here. And I'll just have an overview of, you know, how I did in terms of the things that I needed to do on a daily basis to accomplish what I want to accomplish. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm not saying anything. There's also a bunch of pages on the back that I'll use for different things, honestly. Lists, most likely. And then I want to have also like a cleaning tracker for like things that I like, very much like Lindsay Scribbles type, where she has like this list of things that need to be cleaned at least like once a month, or once a, I don't know, once every 3 months. I don't know, things like that. I also have a monthly tracker. I need to get better at finances because sometimes I don't realize it and I just spend money, and yeah, I cannot do that. So I am going to check every day what I spend money on. I'm gonna try not to, of course, and I'm gonna put it here so that I have a visual of how much I'm spending outside of my regular bills. That's my plan for my planner. Moving on, I have my baby, which is my traveler's notebook. I love traveler's notebook. I don't think I'll ever be able to live without them. I just love the idea of it, the fact that you have so many notebooks in it. If I don't go for sterling ink, like fully sterling ink next year, I'll go full traveler's notebook, because I love the idea of having several notebooks in one place. Just the way that it feels when you touch this notebook, the way that you can customize it with accessories. This is just, I don't know, I love it so much. I try to take good care of it. I have like that little cream for the leather. I'm obsessed. If you cannot tell, I am obsessed with this little thing. I have gotten little charms for her. I love her. I love her. And even though I'm not the best at like organizing like inserts and things like that, I try. I have here an old picture, old 2019 picture of my brother and myself. I look terrible in that picture, but I just love the picture, if that makes sense. And I have a total of let me see, 1, 2, 3 inserts here. The first one is gonna be that journal that I told you that I needed for like my thoughts and my everything, because this is the thing, I love sharing my journals online. I think it's, the community is just amazing, and I love seeing what other people, you know, write, and how they express their creativity through collages and stickers and however people decide to do it. But sometimes I don't want to show everything. And I think having just a dedicated space for my thoughts and all of that is exactly what I need, so that I can keep some healthy distance between what I want to share with the world and what I want to keep to myself. And I don't know if this happens to anyone, but I noticed that when I know somebody's gonna see something, I hold myself back from writing everything that I want to write about, or have filters. And I feel like journaling shouldn't have any filters. So I needed to have this notebook. And I put this post-it here just to remind myself of some things that I want to do on this notebook. So the first one is just print a picture of myself so that it serves as a self-portrait. Or I could scan the drawing that my sister did of me and put it here. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. And at the beginning of every month, I want to have like some sort of art print of a famous painting, so that I can study the painting and learn a little bit more about the background, and some history on the painting, or the painter, or how it was done, the methods used. So that's what I plan to do at the beginning of every month, and just leave a little space to write about how it made me feel, and everything that I said before. I was also thinking about making some sort of key here, depending on what I'm talking about, just so that it's easier for me, like um when I'm looking at the pages, to know what I was writing about without having to read like everything. So I'll get on to do that at some point, I guess. And yeah, I have some stickers here as well. Nothing relevant or anything, just things that I think I might want to use. And then this is gonna be my photo album. I'm very excited about this because, as you can see on my 2024 Hobonichi, I tend to print a lot of pictures. Like, at least I print like 10 or 15 pictures every week. But I print on my regular printer. Like, this is not great quality, or sometimes you can even see some things like in detail. Like, for example, this picture of my cat, you can barely see his face. So yeah. So the reason why I got this photo album is because I also want to print better pictures, or pictures that I can like flip through, and it's more like specific memories that I want to keep for the year. So I got myself one of those like Polaroid printers. I think it's the Instax mini something printer, and I plan to use it for 2025 pictures that are kind of special. So at the end of every month, I'll print my favorite pictures of the month, and I'll put them on this album. I only have one, but I'm not going to hold myself back. If I like 4 pictures of that month a lot, I'll just put 4, and then if I need another book for the year, I'll get another book for the year. But for now, I have one, and I think that's going to be enough, to be honest. So yeah, that's my plan for that little guy, for that little insert. And then this is gonna be my media tracker, but honestly, more of like a reading journal. But I plan to use it for like movies and shows as well. So I print this picture out of Pinterest. I don't remember the artist, but I know that I printed from Pinterest. And the reason I print this particular one is because it reminded me of Tess from the Fragile Threads of Power, because of, I don't know, like the curly hair and the threads. So yeah. And on this one, I'll do a different picture at the beginning of every month as well, just to kind of have like a divider. These are just the sizes to print like the book covers and the movie covers. I decided that I will not do any ratings for next year. For me, rating a book or rating a movie is just so stressful, and it's stressful for a lot of reasons. The first one, because I think it's just so subjective, and also because since I'm gonna be sharing it, I don't want to I don't know, something that was a 3 stars for me could be a 4 stars for somebody else, and I don't want to hold anyone back from reading something based on a rating that I gave. And also I don't want to rate it as, maybe I rate it as 5 stars, and for somebody else it's gonna be like, oh, I hated this book. So I know if I liked it or I didn't like it, and I'll write about it as I always do, but I decided I'm not gonna rate it anymore. So yeah, that's my blurb on that. And I'll just add the quotes, what I thought, the page number, if there was a quote, and a reflection at the end, or something about the book or the author. That's like my overall thought on how I'm gonna approach it. This is a list of all the books that I currently own. I have to still like scratch the ones that I've read from here, because there's a lot of books here that I've already read. But the reason I print this is because it's a reminder for myself that I have enough books on my TBR to read for the whole year. I don't need to buy any more books, and I'm gonna try not to buy more books unless it's like something that I was really anticipating, or I don't know. but you get the gist. Like, I'm going to really try to commit to reading books that I have already, because I have a lot and I don't need to buy anymore. Ay, ay, ay. My husband said I'm setting myself up for failure with that one, but I'm gonna prove him wrong. And yeah, with that, I conclude all the journals that I plan to use for 2025. I'm very excited, to be honest, about journaling next year. I feel like 2024 was a year where I really narrowed down the system that I like, and the way I like to approach journaling. Oh, I never showed you this, but this is what I did for like media tracking this year. I already finished it. But you see, I wrote about the podcasts that I listened to. I wrote about, the books that I read. I used it as commonplace at some points. I wrote about like songs that I listened to. There's just a lot going on here. And I plan to do something similar, to be honest, next year. I don't have a commonplace journal set up for next year. That's the only thing that I'm missing in my setup, in my lineup. But the reason why I haven't is because I really don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I was thinking maybe I could print some of Megan Rhiannon's inserts and just get myself one of those like cheap binders, one like the one she has that's like sort of transparent with a stick band or whatever. So I might do that for commonplacing, because again, I was doing that here, and I think that could really work because I don't do commonplacing very often because I don't have time, but I do want to have a space for when I decide to do it. So yeah, that's the plan. I plan to do it exactly the same way as I did it here, but just separating each month. But you get the gist. And yeah, I really like how this notebook ended up looking like. I'm very excited about the changes that I'm gonna implement, and that's it. I'm gonna stop rambling because I feel like I've been talking a lot. I really want to keep up with this channel and be a more active part of the journaling community, and hopefully make some friends along the way. And yeah, that's my plan for 2025. I hope you liked my lineup/setup, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.